I think that the essence of coexistence is recognizing our bounds. And I purposely didn't say boundaries because there's no reason I shouldn't go into a forest. And there's no reason my sheep shouldn't graze the land. But an acceptance of the fact that with my transgression into the forest might come an encounter with a coyote, or, as happened to my dog, a bobcat jumped one of my dogs a couple of years ago. I got my dog back after 11 days of that dog running. So there's this understanding that I bring with me every time I go into any ecosystem, that I belong here, but I don't have rights here.
My name is Liz Shaw, and I'm owner of Morsebrook Farm in Westminster, Vermont. We're a 207-acre, primarily livestock, primarily sheep farm. And we use livestock guardian dogs to protect our sheep against coyotes and other predators. So when you enter into a landscape, you're pushing back existing things, but they're not. But the diet of the coyotes here was not lamb, because this was basically hayfields. It was mice and gophers and things like that. I haven't had a problem because as I've entered the landscape, I've brought what I need to protect my animals, not waiting for it to happen.
Proper stewardship of livestock is everything to me, whether you have dogs or chickens. You need to understand how to keep them safe.
I preemptively said I'm not going to move onto a farm and disturb the environment without something that can protect my sheep. And so I protect my sheep using this electronet fence, and I make sure it's hot, and I make sure that I have my guardian dogs. Unfortunately, one of them is sick, so I don't have anyone here with this group. This group is lambing out, but I'm nearby, and my dogs will bark at anything out from the house that would disturb them. So even though my guardian dog isn't in here, I have him guarding an area where there are coyotes. Down here we have a fox, because they separate their territory. We don't put the sheep in places where we know there are problems. We try to coexist with our coyote population. So one of the things, the other week, so this property has an interesting history in the life of this community. And so we're very aware of that. And we have several people who hunt on our land. They hunt turkey and deer, and they've asked for permission. And recently I had one of the guys come up and he says, my son really wants to hunt coyote. And I said, no, please don't hunt any coyote around here because they haven't bothered my sheep. And I want these coyotes because they have hunting patterns. I said, please don't. I said, a couple of things happen. Right now, lamb is not on the menu. I want to keep lamb off the menu for these guys. So these guys don't think about lamb, but if a new coyote walks in and says, oh, look, she doesn't have her guardian dog down here, there are some young lambs, the possibility of that then becoming a problem coyote is much higher. So I talked to them and I said, look, you know, my coyotes are almost guarding my property right now.
Many ecologically minded farmers and ranchers know that when they are allowing indiscriminate killing of these predators, they're actually bringing in more problem predator animals that may actually go after their lamb and other livestock in a more aggressive way. We see that bear out in the science, particularly with mountain lions and coyotes. So, for example, with mountain lions, when we indiscriminately remove a large male lion, sometimes we see juvenile lions coming in and more than one. And very often, those mountain lions are attracted to atypical aberrant prey, like livestock. Even though this is bared out in the science, we still see this indiscriminate killing, and we see the problems recurring.
We have no permanent fences except for very small areas, and we will probably keep it that way because livestock or wildlife travel through the farm all the time, and we will disturb that. And they are beneficial to us in many ways. So we're trying to live with the soil biology, and we're trying to live with the existing wildlife. And we're doing what's called rotational grazing, which means the sheep move every single day to a new spot, which is more like the grazing that you would find in a grasslands area. Animals, you know, the bison used to move all across the prairies, and that helped with grass health. If you eat the grass down too much, you're destroying the ability of the grass to regrow. So we rotate every day, which means the dogs move with the sheep everywhere, and we have to put up new fence, and we keep going at it. But that means that the rest of the land that we're not using at the time is open to everybody else to hang out on. They just need to leave our sheep alone and our cattle alone, and we'll leave them alone.
The West has many issues that we don't have out here. So large, expansive, tens of thousands of acres of public land that are rented by these farmers. You know, we don't do that here. So we have smaller farms, and you know, it should be so much easier for us out here to keep our animals safe and steward them well because our farms are smaller. It's a matter, once again, of the will to do it.